Is anybody coming? Yeah. So.
How does it sound? Check. Hello, hello. Just checking. Somebody just came out. Yeah, there's a 8-second delay.
So the defense. Hey, where are you? Okay, why don't you come out there? Where are you staying in? What are you staying in LA?
I'm leaving on Wednesday. Here for another day. Yeah, for sure. I know I didn't even go around. I think tomorrow. I only got like a
Where you would like downtown?
Yeah, right downtown, right by that park. That's where we call it. Yeah, definitely reach out. We'll get coffee.
Yeah.
If you're around.
No, yeah, you got to make yourself around.
Yeah. Okay.
Para tenerlo en su...
Yeah.
Ay, paisanos, gracias mucho. Excelente. Esto es me tomé el atrevimiento de llamarle para dar mejores indicaciones que mandarles a ustedes. Ok. Excelente, paisanos, muchas gracias. Ok. Vale, pues.
Okay, guys.
Is this a union violation?
Step down a little bit.
How's that?
Yeah, that should be good. I can. Yeah. Open the mics! The first order of business is everybody's making me look taller than I am, I hope. All right, you got to put this a little bit lower. So I don't have anything specific to say other than, this is a very early on in the proceedings. As you heard today, Mr. Wedding entered a not guilty plea to both indictments that he's been charged with. The indictments are not evidence. They're just an accusation. And the way that our system works is that it's accusatory, not inquisitory. So he entered a not guilty plea to both of those indictments. And I would anticipate that, over the course of litigation, there'll be more information that will come to light in this particular case. But at this time, he has entered a plea of not guilty to both of those indictments.
Can you talk about his surrender, Mr. Colombo? Can you talk a little bit about his surrender?
Well, he didn't surrender. He was apprehended. He was arrested. And so any spin that the government in Mexico is putting on this, that he surrendered, is inaccurate. And I think if there's anybody in a position to know how his arrest and apprehension went down, it's his counsel. So those reports of what happened, that he surrendered, completely inaccurate. And I can understand, look, the Trump administration with the apprehension of Maduro has made clear that we're in a bold new era with regard to international relations. So one can understand why that statement might have been put out. Because if the U.S. government is unilaterally going into a sovereign country and apprehending somebody, you can understand the concern that sovereign entity might have. But he was apprehended.
Can you talk about his apprehension? How was he apprehended?
Mexico. He's in good spirits. He's a former Olympic athlete, which obviously takes a lot of mental toughness to participate in those type of games and at a high level. So he's in good spirits. I can't provide any of those details. That's something that the U.S. Attorney's Office or the Justice Department could provide to you. I don't have any information. Again, I'd refer you to ask the Department of Justice and the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office that question.
Will he remain in jail, and how come there was no bond?
So the government, procedurally, every defendant has the opportunity for bond. However, in certain cases, and this is one, there's a presumption that the individual will flee given the nature of the charges and the potential penalty that they're facing. So the government invoked that provision within the law, moved for detention. They filed a written motion to detain him without bond. And so we agreed today to waive the detention hearing and stipulate to detention without prejudice, meaning that we can come back and address the bond issue at a later date. So that's what happened today. Imagine this has been a whirlwind, okay, for Mr. Wedding in terms of when he was apprehended and in terms of when he's appearing here. So to put all the pieces in place to articulate what conditions or combination of conditions could be set to secure bond was not something that we were prepared to argue this afternoon. We wanted more time, and so that was not discussed today. But it's likely to be something that would be addressed at a later date to the district court in Los Angeles that the case is assigned to. Yes. Hold on, let me address that real quick. There were two dates set. One was a trial date. The first was a status date. Okay. Given the nature of this case, given what I anticipate to be voluminous evidence, I doubt that we are going to be going to trial in March. Typically, it would take time to process, review, and prepare a defense in this particular case, and so we put that over to the status hearing so that we could probably pick a new trial date.
What are your early impressions of what he's accused of?
I'm sorry?
What are your early impressions of what he's accused of?
Well, you could read the indictments the indictments speak for themselves. So.
Wedding is facing multiple accusations of orchestrating murders in Ontario and in Colombia. How do you respond to those allegations?
Well, you heard him say not guilty, right? So that's how I would respond.
Where is he being held?
That's something that you could direct your questions to the Department of Justice and the U.S. Marshals.
Can we go into the fears you had for his family? You mentioned you were afraid for his family, or he is afraid for his family.
I did not say I was afraid for his family. What I said is that his family is entitled to privacy, as is anyone who's going to act as a surety for the bond. And so what I advised the court was I anticipate, in terms of a surety, if we have a surety to post to have him released on bond, that information, their personal information, would be filed under seal. So in terms of that, I did not say what you said. Okay.
In terms of apprehension, you said that's the government, but you've challenged the narrative that they have given you. Can you give us anything more about how he was actually brought in, and if there was any negotiation beforehand?
Again, I mean, an apprehension is an apprehension, right? So, no, in terms of any details, the head of the FBI, I believe, already had a press conference. You've heard his characterizations in terms of the apprehension, and so I'm not in a position to provide any more information with regard to that. But I can tell you and confirm that he was arrested, he was apprehended, he did not surrender.
The FBI has said that your client was hiding out in Mexico for 10 years. What's your response to that? Because his wife was being hiding?
Well, I don't know that's the case. Hiding out and living somewhere are two different things. And so I would characterize it as living. The government could characterize it their way. And hence, why we have these judicial proceedings to determine ultimately how things turn out and whose interpretation of the facts is correct and whether the government can prove their case and each and every element of the charges that they've filed against Mr. Wedding with proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
There are outstanding charges in Canada back from 2015.
I'm not going to take any questions about anything in Canada because I'm not in a position to answer those. I'm not a Canadian lawyer. Any other questions?
Sorry, I might have missed this. Why did
Sure.
you waive the detention hearing instead of arguing for bail or for detention?
Well, as I explained, I mean, imagine the whirlwind that he's experienced since his apprehension. It takes time to put the sureties in place, to have the information for the court, to establish that there is a condition or combination of conditions that could secure his release. So we were not in a position today to do that, and we anticipate addressing that at a later date before the district court.
Do you know why it was moved here today to Orange County?
I do, actually. That's a good question. It was originally scheduled for LA, but because of the protests against ICE, which are daily and ongoing outside of the courthouse in downtown Los Angeles, they decided to move it here.
So he was held in Santa Ana jail. We know that his jail marks at S14 today. Santa Ana jail.
Yeah, yes, you saw his jumpsuit. Yeah. No, I'm not going to provide any information on that today. When did I first meet him? Several days ago, upon his arrival in the United States.
Considering all the discovery, sir, can you step to your trial next?
I'm sorry?
I know you said it's not going to be March 24th, but considering all the discovery you still need to review, if you had to guess, what do you think would be the earliest that date?
You know, I don't know. I think other counsel have indicated maybe October, but I can't say. I'm not in a position to tell you that. I mean, sometimes cases go quickly, but one of this magnitude is likely to be set, sometime in the future. Okay.
Do you have any fears of your client's safety while in detention?
No.
What's your response to the FBI director comparing him and saying he's a modern day El Chapo or modern day Pablo Escobar?
I think it's overstated. That's their spin. Yeah.
And because
Okay.
he was transferred from Mexico to here, does that mean that the death penalty is off the table in this case?
It was an apprehension. And so in order for that to be taken off the table, you would have had to have required an extradition. And that's not how it happened. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. Sure. COLOMBO. You're welcome.
So he didn't turn himself in at the embassy?
I think I made that clear. The answer is no. That narrative is a false one. He was apprehended.
How he was apprehended?
No, because I was not part of the operational team that apprehended him. I would direct you to either the FBI office, the U.S. Attorney's Office, or the Department of Justice. No. No, doesn't change a thing. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Take care.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to look for your. Who are they interviewing here? What's going on? Is this all the Canadian? I think there's a lot of Canadian stuff happening.
Yeah, I think there's two candidates, right?
Oh, okay.
There's no one else from the court that came out, right?
No, was the U.S. attorney Mexican American? Okay, someone asked her at the elevator and she said she was. So, and is her name Lindsay something?
Yeah, I just screenshotted it actually. It's in a daily rating category.
Oh, they say their names so fast.
Yeah.
ALLS.
Elsa.
Yeah, because it was the second.
Lylynsi. Lindsay. Okay, thanks, guys.
So you guys gonna take this?
I always have an anomalous viruses where it like fades out and then kind of comes back. I don't know. Or it could be a little blood on it. Yeah. 98.
Cisco, CBG7.
Yep. Good to go. What am I doing wrong here, Dad? Keep moving around. Should I put it in this whole thing? No, if it was in here, so it's got. That was.
She seems really. So.
All right, now what? Let's go home, man. Oh, we get to go home? It's not, we're not live? No, no. Tommy's gonna do the live. Oh.
That's nice, man. It is, huh?
See you in the next one. All right, man. Take care.
Did somebody else cut it? What did you pop?
Close.
Okay, here, help me out.
Someone?
Okay, sounds good. Cool. Okay, I'll check.
This one in the back.
Oui.